Old man doing a podcast. Real weirdos. We have English degrees. Real weirdos. We talk about movies for way too goddamn long. Oh man, what a week. This has been a really, really interesting week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm exhausted, man. Like all that, we don't need to get too deep into it, but we will say like, what was it? Fuck off Russian warships. What did those guys say?
Yeah.
Russian warship.
Something like that.
Fuck off or fuck you.
Russian warships. Fuck off.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. We're not political boys. We won't go too deep into that, but I think we're all on that page. And solidarity with our Ukrainian friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's shitty.
It's shitty. In other news, in not as depressing news, I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring. That came out. And I got a new cat. He's around here tearing around. What's
his name?
His name is Dudley, a.k.a. Chonk. I call him Chonk because he's a chunky boy, and he's chill. He's like, well, he's chill in one sense because you could just pick him up and like do whatever you want with him, and he's like, okay, I'll be where you want me. It's fine. But then he's also like, he's like 10 months old, so he's got serious kitten energy, you know. So, and he's like hanging out in this room where I record, because there's other cats in the house. You want to introduce them to each other slowly, take a week to like get used to the scents and everything like that. So I've been sleeping on the couch because he will not let me sleep. He's like 4 a.m. He's like, is it time to play? I'm like, no man, it's time to sleep. I want to sleep.
Oh yeah, they like to play early hours of the morning, walking all over you and everything.
He's like, the break of dawn is here. It's time to play, right? And I'm like, no, let me sleepy. What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
I'm just thinking like of a joke right now. I'm trying to be like, yeah? I'm trying to piece together some kind of like dog whisper daytime commercial bit, but I just can't really put it together. And it was just like, next on A&E with the cat whisperer, Jesse talks for 10 minutes about integrating cats together and letting them take over his bedroom.
It's just super dry, like.
But also it's really easy to be a cat whisperer. All you have to do is whisper at a cat. I don't know if it understands you or not.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I think it would just think you were hissing.
I guess it depends on your tonality. But yeah, we're here. We're here to talk about a movie. What movie are we talking about? We're talking about something.
We're talking about one of the best movies made pre 9/11.
Exactly.
We're talking about an absolute junker of a film.
How dare you? Just how fucking dare you?
Jesus.
So actually, okay, we're talking about Gone in 60 Seconds from the year 2000 by seminal master of cinema Dominic Sena. It's a joke, by the way. He did make one movie that I like. It's called California with a K. It has Brad Pitt as a serial killer. Really early Brad Pitt movie. The rest of it's crap, in my opinion. But so I think the way I want to go about this one, because the way that I feel about it, and I want you guys to be able to get out what you like about this movie, right? And like sort of nerd out. Because I think like once we get into my thoughts here, it's going to turn into a completely different conversation. And B, I also think that it'll be a fun conversation for you guys to have for the listener as well, because I'm sure that at least one or two people are going to click on this because they also like this movie. And while my opinion is what it is, it's also just my opinion. And you guys do like this movie.
2v1. Movie's good.
2v1.
Debate over.
But yeah, it's an Alex choice, so I'll let you take the ball and run with it, Alexios.
So I chose this movie because I think it was around the time that we had chosen, that you had like talked about choosing The Crow. Like you talked about that you were thinking about it, and then you said, okay, I'm gonna choose The Crow. So
we're on a run here for our childhood like classics.
Exactly.
That we're choosing. You know, Donnie Darko, The Crow.
It was kind of like The Crow was like a 90s kind of cool. grungy cool. And I wanted to see what cinema from like 2000, early 2000s, I thought emulated that style. Or at least not emulate the style of The Crow, but kind of play on this theme of what Hollywood cool is. And this is the perfect movie to do that, in my opinion. And it's also, I think, an extremely entertaining movie. I watched it again. I think it held up. I fucking love this movie. but I'm not like putting this movie up for any types of awards or anything like that. I'll wait for the questions that I have for you, Jesse, to like kind of prod and like probe why you have the opinion you do of this movie. But
yeah, I haven't even told you my full opinion. You know, exactly. I don't like it, but it's deeper than that.
So I'll wait, but I have a few questions for you that I'll like save until the end, and Jeff might even end up asking them in his thoughts about this film as well.
Jeff, what's your history with this movie?
This is like a Man on Fire situation, you know, where it's like a movie you liked when you were younger and then you watch it back again and it's just absolutely trash. But for me, it's in like the best way possible. I thought this movie was hilarious. Like I was rib splitting laughing from start to finish. I used to think these characters were the fucking coolest. Like, I used to think every character in this movie was absolutely a pinnacle of cool. I wanted to be all of these characters at one point because my dad is really into cars. And he actually took me to see, like, a replica of Eleanor when I was young. And it was just kind of like a cool tie I had to the movie. Like, oh, I've seen this car before. And so that was fun. But yeah, watching it as an adult, it's like, wow, this is pure, like, just action schlock, just stuff in the shelves, bullshit. I mean, I don't even understand how did this movie even turn a profit with how much I had to pay in actors' salaries?
I don't know. I'll dig into that while you guys continue the conversation.
I mean, it was like what I felt like playing Need for Speed as a kid, if it was a movie. And I also got really into cars just at the same time as this film was like coming out and I saw it. So I don't know. It was like I started like looking at all these cars on the side of the street and being like, oh, that's this car, that's that car, like, and the GT500, you know, the Mustang is like, I still think it's one of the most beautiful cars ever, but I don't know. We'll get into all that. But I was going to ask you, Jeff, did you want to be Sway? Was that the character that you
I didn't want to be Sway.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I get it.
I didn't want to be Sway.
Yes.
But that's just.
Which one was Sway?
Sway's Angelina Jolie's character.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought everybody was so slick and cool, which I think is the point. That's the person that this movie was trying to attract, was like the young car nerd who thought like, oh, I'm part of the car boosting gang. And it's just so funny how it looks like everyone's acting off a cue card in this. Like the way the dialogue is like transferred between actors, it looks like every single actor was filmed separately and they spliced their scenes together.
Yeah.
There was such a disjointed feeling to like, this is supposed to be one of those like, I kind of liken this to like Fast and the Furious, like a pre-Fast and the Furious type movie.
Exactly.
And even how bad those movies are, they do succeed in kind of building, and I hate to say this, with that like family cohesion, like with the characters.
What?
Like kind of,
it's about family, bro.
I think in at least the first couple, I think like the characters felt like they knew each other. There was an ability to create like that buddy crime group of people.
Wait a minute. So you say the first couple. This implies that you've seen more than two.
I've seen the first two Fast and Furious.
Not all of them, though?
No. You
haven't seen all 37?
No, I haven't. But I do feel like in this, like, none of the actors or characters really felt like they were actually friends or actually part of a crew.
I've never seen any of them from start to finish, but I would watch this movie 100 times over.
Oh, sure.
Ever have to watch any of those movies. God, I love this movie so much.
What is it? Is it? Do you think it's like the nostalgia factor? Like going back to like something I said about The Crow last week, is that I love this movie. I love it like down to its DNA, and I don't even care if it's good. Or do you think that this movie like succeeds on its own merits, or what?
A little bit of both, and that leads me into the question that I was going to ask you. But let's say instead of a little bit of both, it's not like 50-50 here, right? Like let's say it's like 75-80% nostalgia. 20% I do actually think that it operates on certain levels that do warrant merit and praise when it comes to the general overall movie going experience.
Like what are those things?
It would be like different than if I was sitting down to watch Barry Lyndon, right? Like my expectations are always going to be different. So that's a conscious movie going thing. I mean, you choose the movie that you want to go see in theaters, right? If you chose this movie, you probably enjoyed it when you saw it in movie theaters for the first time. And it's a good movie as far as entertainment and pace go, and it's over pretty quickly. It doesn't last too long, in my opinion. Like, it's so simple and so basic that they get the cars or they don't get the cars. They beat the bad guy. It's over. That's pretty much it. That's like the gist of the movie. And it's just easy to process. The nostalgia part, are you asking me to explain that part, or do you understand the nostalgia part?
I you can talk about whatever you want. I understand the nostalgia part. That part I understand about almost anything.
Got it,
seriously.
got it. Okay,
like that.
No, yeah. So that part, it's like 80% of it probably. But as a kid watching the movie, I felt like I like knew I always would like the movie. I remember being like, you know what? I will always like this movie. And I don't know why, but that was before I looked at film critically too. So,
see, I never saw this movie in the theaters. This was like in a DVD pile kind of situation that I just pulled out.
When did you first see it, Jeff? Was it the same time though? About maybe a couple years later?
Probably like 2003, 2004.
So you're still young enough to like think that this was cool or whatever?
Oh yeah. And it had cars. And so my dad thought it was cool. And for me, it was just like a moment, like, oh, anything to bond with my dad. So there was a little bit of that attached to it. But, I mean, I don't know, when you're young enough, it's a fun movie. And I would watch it a lot. It was one of those on repeat movies. And as an adult, it's one of those movies that you just grow out of. You know, it's like clothes or over-the-ear headphones or wallet chains. It's just something that was cool, and I grew out of it quickly, and so it has its place in my heart. There are some funny actors, and there's a lot of really like just one of the working actors. A lot of working actors in this movie, like Will Patton, James Duvall, like these actors that you see in a lot of other movies.
I like the attribution of this film as the wallet chain of movies. I think that works.
But I love that it also has Doctor Who in it. The villain is Doctor Who. It's Christopher Eccleston.
Raymond Calitri.
Yeah, Raymond Calitri, which is a great villain name.
Really quick, reading a review, Jesse, it says, check your brain at the door. Enjoy with popcorn. And I think that's like the perfect way to describe this movie.
I am able to do that sometimes. Definitely. Yeah. Do you want me? Should I?
Yeah. No, I'm ready.
Can I go? Should I go?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. So this, and it might not be the review you're expecting, perhaps, because this movie didn't make me angry. I'm gonna be dad here. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I was like so disappointed in you guys for like liking this movie and making me fucking watch it. And I was thinking about it in terms of things we've done here. And it's like there are things that I've hated more. Funny games. But funny games I remember extremely well. It was like interesting. It sort of like helped define the borders of cinema for me. Or even something like In the Name of the King had while it was mostly boring, like the production of it and the whole question surrounding that is really fascinating to me. This movie though was, and I had never seen it before, but it was loud, dumb, generic, ruthlessly unfunny. It was an assault on my senses and my brain. And above all, it was boring. I was so bored. My brain...
Really?
I maybe paid attention to like 30% of it because my brain just rejected it. It rejected the horrible dialogue. It rejected just the just pummeling action scenes that just went on for eternity. My brain, I felt like when Jeff was trying to watch Barry Lyndon, where it's like I may as well have only watched 20% of it. And I was like, it had nothing for me. It had nothing. Maybe 2% with like a little bit of that Nick Cage hamminess. There's something there. Like you cannot take that away from it. I will not take that away from the film. But it was just like, I don't know. And as I walk through my life watching movies or whatever, this was just like an empty candy wrapper on the ground. And I was like, oh, there's an empty candy wrapper. And then I forgot it immediately.
Was it an empty candy wrapper or a full condom?
A full condom would have elicited something more.
Okay, but
yeah, I mean...
It was a candy at one point, right? That someone unwrapped and enjoyed.
I don't know where we're going with this metaphor, but yeah.
Okay.
It was you, man.
Yeah, it
you
was
left
me.
the candy wrapper there for me to walk by later.
I'm a litterer.
And I was like, oh,
okay.
great. And thanks, Alex. Glad we spent one of the shows in our like limited time on this earth talking about Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah, I
For
litter.
fuck's sake.
After I eat
For
my
fuck's
candy,
sake.
by the way. Here in LA, we don't care about the environment.
Well, this is why I wanted you guys to like do your thing before I jumped in, because it's like I have nothing to say about it. Like I have nothing to say. You could ask me questions though.
I can't necessarily rebuke any of those things, but part of my question was like, do you think it's entertaining enough to be okay? So if you look at the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, right, it like hovers around 80%, and then obviously the reviews are around like 20-25%.
Yeah.
So
this is the opposite of High Life.
Okay, it's the opposite of a lot of those movies, right? The gems that you find, you like look for the movies that have high critic ratings and stuff like that. But this movie, I feel like, so it was a remake. Never seen the original. But as bad as some of the writing is, or excuse me, all of the writing, I can't argue against any of your points other than it's still entertaining to me in spite of all of those points. That's like the only argument I really have. Jeff might have a more like eloquent argument than me, honestly.
Well, this can be the problem with like trying to analyze movies like this when not everyone is on board, because it often can come down to that nostalgia factor where it's like I could see it if I watched it at the time, but to me it just felt like it was so dated and I had no history with it. It felt like a really bad writer and director tried to like do a Guy Ritchie kind of thing, almost, not in terms of like the structure, but the energy, you know what I mean, the jokey energy, and just like failing so hard. But it's definitely like I understand why people would like this movie. I do. It's just completely not for me, 100%. And that's hard to put your finger on because I like things like this, you know. I don't know. I probably should have come up with a list and saw this example coming, but I don't know. There are junk food movies, but one of the things I thought in my brain, and I was like, these guys have no right to complain about Marvel movies ever again, because any Marvel movie is infinitely smarter than this, infinitely smarter and more clever.
I was gonna say it's like a junk food movie.
That's fair.
It's a junk food movie
without the fighting, the guns, or like the martial combat, really. So when it takes away kind of that aspect and replaces it with cars, it's hard to make that successful. It's hard to make that like compelling.
Well, it was compelling for a lot of people, and it was successful. Going back to the budget, it was $90 million, which is a lot of fucking money in 2000. Gross worldwide 237, so not like a insane success, but doubled its money. at least.
I mean, that's a success. That's exactly. I mean, this is a movie I think that's really hard to put your finger on, because Jesse has a great point in that why would we talk about this movie on a podcast? There's a difference between watching a movie like this would be a funny movie to watch with Jesse, because he has subjected us to garbage before. So it would be funny to sit around on like Discord or at my house and like subject him to Gone in 60 Seconds and just watch him go like, this is dumb. While me and Alex go like, oh yeah, Eleanor, why do we call them girls' names? He orders the pizza. Fucking
the dog ate the keys and now they have to make the dog go poop.
Yeah,
that's your plot point in this movie.
And the whole like laser cut keys, because those were like a new bit of technology at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think all that stuff was really I don't know, it's so dumb. It's so dumb beyond dumb, and the plot is pointless, and all the actors are pointless, and everything that's happening is pointless because the car just gets like fucked up. So you're like,
it's pointless. So
your MacGuffin is like just totally destroyed, and so either I don't know, you lose any attachment, and like the villain is so disconnected from 90% of the movie. Like you meet the villain in the beginning and he's like, I need 150 cars, and then you get him 149 and a half cars and then he's just like, kill him, murder him, murder. He was just
yeah, who saw that coming? Wow, not me. Jeez. Definitely not.
So instead of like trying to put a pin on why we like, I mean, we like it because it's nostalgia, we like it because we have our own attachments to it. It's why does a movie like this still, in my opinion, look 10,000 times better than anything of its like coming out today? Is that nostalgia? Is that the kind of like everything's better in my day old man shit? Or is there something to the structuring of these old schlocky 2000s movies that still make them better than a 2022 schlocky movie? Because I'd still rather watch this than anything bullshit in 2022.
The Tomorrow War was better.
Oh,
I don't agree. No. I would watch this over the Tomorrow War 100 times.
Yeah, but you already liked this movie. You'd seen it before. See, this is where the breakdown comes in and trying to like analyze it, right?
See, I think that the Tomorrow War looked like in market. I haven't seen it. Disclaimer. If I wanted to go all the way with this argument, I would have to watch it and get back to Jesse on it. But like, it looked like and marketed itself like it was going to be this, like, I don't know. It looked like, at least to me, that it tried to be more than it was. But
it's not a good movie.
You've seen it.
I saw it. It's basically a Roland Emmerich film. But I paid attention to more than 30% of it, you know?
Okay.
I cannot describe how bored I was watching Gone in 60 Seconds. I don't know. Is that me getting old where it's like, oh my God, it's just flat characters and action. So much action. But then I'm like, no, there are action movies that come out all the time that I love.
Did you
like,
not
you guys
care?
know I like Marvel. I love Jammo.
I don't know. That car chase?
Did you
not care? I did not care about anything.
Dude, Giovanni Ribisi was going to get crushed.
No. I was like, I was sending you Reddit memes as a way to keep myself busy watching this movie.
But I mean, see, that's the problem though, is because this movie does do a lot of the quintessential action ingredients really well, and I think that that's being overlooked here just because like the plot was boring, like car chases.
What ingredients?
Car chases.
It's not just the plot that was boring, like that. But see, like we've talked about action before, where it's like, for me, at least, action has to be servicing a story. I can't just like be like, oh, an action scene. It has to have some sort of like motivation for me to care within it. And when it doesn't have that, and especially when it's just like car chases, I don't know.
But see, that's just. But I feel like that's something you're overlooking, because that's a part of cinema history that's very important. I mean, if you're talking like the Blues Brothers, if you're talking like Knight Rider, Dukes of Hazzard, like these are the quintessential car chases are just a part of the story. They're not really meant to drive the plot of the story along. They're just meant to be something. I mean, can you think of any other action sequences in movies that are longer than car chases? Sometimes they're like 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah. So there's some extended action scenes but those are rare, like John Wick kind of thing.
Yeah, but even at most you get 6-8 minutes. There are car chases like regularly that are 10 plus minutes because you can kind of even at this time through props and low grade CGI and effects create lots of different dynamic, fun obstacles for these so-called pro drivers to go through. And I think that is service to this movie. It's like where John Wick, where that's a good example, where in John Wick, at least to me, every point that's not John Wick shooting someone in the head is boring. I don't care about the Guild of Assassins. I don't care about the backstory of the Russians. Just show me more of John Wick shooting people in the head, because that's the part that's fun.
Do you feel that way about this movie for Cars?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was getting to. You fucking bitch. I think that's the say. That's more of Jesse being like, "Get on with it." That's my point. Is I think this movie does car chases so well, and that's such a important ingredient in these type of movies, and I just don't want to overlook that.
So it sounds like you're indirectly or directly, perhaps, admitting that the story and characters in this movie are flat and uninteresting.
I said that though. I didn't indirectly. Okay. I said that in the beginning. I was like, the actors are boring.
Okay,
they look like they're reading off cue cards. They have no chemistry. They're all overpaid.
Yeah, I need that. I need the story to grab me in order for action sequences to have any meaning in my brain, because like the action, I don't remember the car chases in this movie. My brain tuned them out. They just did. I was thinking about like groceries or something. I don't even know.
Is it harmless or is it harmful? Or was it harmless? Because you said earlier that like you felt like it was like attacking like your senses, but at the same time you were also like bored. So like
so that does tend to happen when I get bludgeoned. Like what was that Superman movie, Man of Steel? That was like that too, where it is like it's bludgeoning you to the point where, and this wasn't as bad as that, by the way, in terms of like bludgeoning me. It bludgeons you to the point where you're like, okay, and your brain shuts down, right? It's like I can no longer process any sense, like my sensory overload, like kill switch engages, right?
Yeah.
And this movie did that too. I don't remember it. It wasn't harmful though. It just tuned out. I hate to keep beating a dead horse here because I'm worried that what I'm saying isn't interesting, but I was just so bored. I was just so bored, you guys. So it was Jeff and Barry Lyndon.
Yeah,
I was
you
like
sound like
falling
me
asleep.
and Barry.
It's like, and his 2 hours is so long.
Oh, was it 2 hours?
I take umbrage with your quick and easy and bite size or whatever. It felt longer than Barry Lyndon to me.
Okay, it's like a calzone then.
There's a lot of fluff in this movie for sure. I mean, there's this whole scene with like stealing, like all the little like the C, D, E, F, G plots they try to do with like the cars. And like the different goofy characters stealing cars. Like, we're going to steal the car from the beach kids during the party. We're going to steal the car from the fucking the douchebag guy. Like the what is this? You know what I mean? Like the guy with the sweater tied around his neck.
Yeah.
Like you have like all of these little extra plots that don't really go anywhere. And because the characters aren't fun, you don't get any satisfaction of them like getting the car. You're like, you're like, yeah, they got the car. Now this is my read as an adult. As I said, when I first watched this movie, every time they got a car, I was like, yeah, cross that name off the list. Mary, Susan, Diane, fuck it. Like, it's just, I bought it 100%, and I don't even like cars. I just thought it was so cool how they were all just like, we're all fucking crime criminals,
getting
and we
back
do
into
criminal things, and we're all old and crusty, and I don't know. It's just like, and I love just like Timothy Oliphant's character. He's like, I love the line when he walks out. He's like, yeah, we thought by the time you get out, they'll be like flying cars. Like,
I love
and
that.
I'm like,
I love
the movie's
that.
made in 2000. It's like 21 years later, and Tesla's just first being like, we're gonna make the car drive by itself. Like, I just love people's ideas of the future.
Don't you ever talk about my wife.
Yeah, there's a lot of Delroy Lindo. I've never known this character's name, but I always loved him. He's the Castlebeck, the main detective. I love him. I think he was wasn't he in the Core?
That guy. I saw
Yeah.
him and
He
I was
was
like,
in
it's
the
that
Core.
guy.
Yeah, he was in the Core. Like, I've always loved him in everything he's been. He's
Damn.
just always funny.
Yo, did Aaron Eckhart get canceled?
I don't know.
He was like the main actor in the Core, right?
Oh, it's like, is he in this movie?
No, he was in the Core.
I don't think so. I didn't hear
I
about
don't
it.
know.
Okay, I just haven't seen him in a movie in forever. Anyways,
Nah, he's in stuff. It's just like, yeah.
This
I
movie.
mean, we could divert to that. I'm okay with that.
Did you love like the filter that it put on when they went to go visit him, when he's like in his isolation because he's no longer a criminal, and Memphis is like he like teaches kids how to go-kart or some shit at like a gas station. The filter is so like yellow. It's like even more so than Man on Fire. It's so ridiculous. But this film is like all yellows and blues and greens. That's like the only effect that they have on it.
Yeah, they play with filters a lot in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for sure. They definitely toy with that, like, that era of, like, throwing crazy opaque filters and crazy, like, film grain.
For no
all
reason.
over certain scenes
For no
reasons.
reason.
Like,
Yeah.
there was just a lot of, like, playing around with the visuals to guess I make up for the fact that the movie is just, like, the movie is like when your dog drags its ass on the carpet. It's just that streak that's left behind. It's
almost too simple of a plot that it can only be interesting for like a span of 5 minutes, I guess. So they have to add so much fluff, where it should have been at least 45 to 50 minutes of interesting shit. And then I thought that the car chase at the end was the only cool car chase in the whole movie. I don't
Wow,
know.
so that seems like contrary to Jeff's point then.
Well, the
About
car
the car
chases in the
chases.
movie are pretty weak up until that one. I do have to say,
Like that one's
that
Okay.
epic.
they definitely spent all their budget on that scene because it's like 15 minutes long, and yeah, I don't know. It's like this movie just has, when I think about it, it just has weird memories to me. Like this movie taught me what fast was in a car. Because to me, I had never understood, because you get a car, like let's say you get like a Honda Accord, and you look at the speedometer, and it says 120. But you know that if you go 120 in this Honda Accord, for more than even 10 seconds, you're just going to blow it out. So that number's there as like, hey, this car has the potential to do that, but it can't really. So when I was younger, cars always were very obscure about like how fast a car could actually go. And it was always something I had to ask my dad, like, how fast can this car really go? And then, so you see in Gone in 60 Seconds, he gets up to, I think, 180 when he hits the nitrous. And it's like, I just found that as a kid, that's like one of those core memories where I was like, okay,
Did you
180.
Did
No,
you
I
cheer
didn't
when
cheer.
he jumped the cops?
No, I didn't cheer.
That happened, right? That
I
did
did.
happen? I didn't invent
He
that?
jumps the bridge. He didn't jumps. He jumps like 40 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
This movie
And I was like, fuck yeah!
it's kind of like it's like a heist movie, right? It's like a typical heist movie, but
It is. It has that structure.
Yeah.
Of, oh, we gotta get the team together, and then we gotta do the heist, and like there's a complication with the heist. Look, I mean, premise wise, all right, you get Nicolas Cage, and he has to steal 40 cars in a night. That sounds like fun.
50.
And like, if you check your brain at the door, I'm sure it is. I don't know. See, this is the thing. Also, it's like You guys know, and the listeners will know that I'm like I could be kind of an asshole about movies, for sure. And it's like really strange sometimes what I find acceptable and what I don't, and it's like hard for even me to put my finger on a lot of the time. Yeah, I don't know. I do like reading the reviews for this though. They're all these car puns.
Oh,
Let's go
God.
for
The flat tire of summer movies.
That one was written in 1936, folks.
A mindless, cliche-ridden action cartoon. A blur of metal and fire and screeching tires with bad dialogue, cardboard characters, and a volume set so high it makes the Indianapolis 500 sound like chamber music.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like
That person really was sensitive to the like auditory, visual aspect of the film. But
I mean, that's the review I would have written.
yeah, I was going to say that one sounded very
Love
similar
it.
to yours. But
Yeah, seriously.
it's just one of those movies that for me, it's easy. It's easy to eat. But at least like I can acknowledge it's like an Almond Joy, right? Or a Mounds. Some people fucking
That
hate
someone has
those
already
things.
eaten.
Some people fucking hate them, but they will be in the candy section and in the chip section when you go into your 7-Eleven at 4 a.m. And you might see some weird dude next to you grab one of those. So I can understand why this movie is successful, only because it worked on me. But I can see why someone else would not like this movie at all.
Stephen Hunter from the Washington Post. I'll tell you what's gone in 60 seconds, all right. My attention.
It's like
Thumbs up to you, Stephen Hunter.
telegraph joke. It's like you knew from the first word what the last word was going to be.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just it's a movie that existed for the moment. It didn't exist to be in some kind of plastic case on someone's shelf as their
That's what we're doing now, though. We're putting it in the plastic case on the shelf of the Reel Weirdos, essentially.
Oh, hell yeah, we are.
And I'm so irritated. You're gonna get yours, buddy.
Yeah,
You're gonna get yours. The Russian roulette is gonna be brutal.
It's
Oh,
dumb
man.
to talk about this movie at all in this capacity. It does feel ridiculous, and there are moments where I feel like I am stretching to try to make this take the time it should. But
I tell you what, though, I missed Alex softballed in what should have been an amazing joke, and I didn't see it until later. But we were talking about the threat of nuclear war. To go back to that, and he was like, "Well, what if the last thing you see is gone in 60 seconds?" I mean, that joke writes itself. Like, oh, I could have been gone in 60 seconds. Blah blah blah. I don't know. You can write your own. Leave one in the comments. I mean, I was like, damn it. I totally missed that.
oh my god, what we won't do for just a dumb joke in this fucking podcast.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
when this is our movie.
I mean, it is like I said, it is what it is. It existed for the time. It meant to grab the kids that it did, and then, like I said, I watched this movie for however long until I grew out of it, and then this is the first time in 15 years I've seen it, and I'll never watch it again unless for some reason my kid digs it up and is like, let's watch this, and I'm like, all right, fine. Like, otherwise it's just one of those movies that's not meant to stand the test of time, and it doesn't.
Be curious to like show it to your nephew and see if he thinks it's cool, even now that it's like 21 years old, or is it like too dated?
He'll think it's cool probably because he loves cars.
I want to watch Cars.
So
Should we do Cars next?
Not the movie
No.
Cars. He loves like actual he loves like cars, like cool, classic cars, because my dad, So there is that influence on him already, but the kid doesn't have the attention span. I mean, he stands up and watches movies. So that's all you really need to know.
It's like watching with Skylar or something. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, what are the best car movies? There's like Vanishing Point from the 70s.
Bullet.
That's the classic.
Herbie Halloween.
Bullet. Yeah, Bullet is awesome.
Did you say Herbie Halloween?
What did I miss? I was talking. I didn't hear that.
Just said Herbie Halloween.
Herbie Halloween. That's what the hell is that?
It doesn't work. I have to explain it.
Fuck.
Oh my God.
I've never even heard of that.
I'm happy you got that, Alex.
Jesus Christ.
Alex, explain it to me.
It's just like,
I needed to explain.
what? I thought he was just talking about the Herbie movie. The one with
It's just this shitty Adam Sandler
Yeah.
Herbie movie.
Oh.
with the
I stopped paying
VW.
attention to Adam Sandler when he went on the Netflix. I don't know what his movies are anymore.
Oh, man.
It's not my problem anymore.
So great. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really
see that one with
pay attention to car movies.
Matt Damon
Yeah.
and Christian Bale.
Matt Damon and Christian. Oh yeah,
Ford
the racing
Ferrari.
one. Ford v Ferrari. Yeah, it's a good movie.
I did
Oh
see
yeah, I heard that actually was really good.
Rush with
One
Rush?
film we did.
I saw that film. It
was alright.
I think I don't remember. It was alright. It was alright. Those are more like those aren't like car action movies. They're more just like
those are just like racing movies.
Mad Max.
racing movies.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Mad Max Fury Road has to be like the best, right? That movie is fucking phenomenal. It's so good. We should have done that.
I know.
Why couldn't we have watched that movie instead?
That movie though is I feel like is in a different genre.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Good
It just happens to have
movies.
cars. Good movies.
Yeah.
It's in the genre of successful. Good
Alex is getting
movies.
hammered today.
Oh no.
He's like, why did I have to choose this
Successful.
movie?
Successful?
Oh yeah.
How much money did Mad Max make?
Oh, a lot. It was very successful. Fury Road, I don't know. I could look it up.
You should.
It's successful though. I shouldn't. Okay, I won't.
No, I said
Jeff
you should.
Ixnays. Oh, okay.
I mean, Fury Road is the best. Like, it's one of the best movies made in a while because it's
He's
just
doing
so tight.
It is. It's like perfectly economical, and all the implied storytelling in it is fantastic. Yeah, George Miller is working on. He's working on at least a Furiosa prequel, and I believe also a legit sequel. I'm stoked for those, man.
Yeah, I like Tom Hardy as Max and
Thomas Hardy, yeah, 150 million gross worldwide, 375. So, I mean, obviously it wasn't Spider-Man No Way Home, but it did pretty well.
I mean, it's pretty much the same if you scaled it. If you think about it, as far as like the difference in
Yeah, actually, yeah, pretty similar.
Damn.
And now we're at the podcast impasse, everybody.
dead air.
40 minutes. 42 minutes. What else you guys watched this week? Do we have anything more to say about Gone in 60 Seconds? I'm down to just chill for a while. Just talk about whatever.
I mean, I don't know. I'm so behind on movies. Like, I still need to see Macbeth. I still need to see.
It's crazy you have not seen that yet, by the way.
Yeah,
I see
I know.
that.
You of
saw-
all people.
I just haven't been able to like sit down and watch a movie. I've just been so tired lately.
What platform is it on?
It is on Apple. So you gotta sign up for your free Apple Plus subscription or whatever's.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch Dune again. Just kind of like,
The new one?
yeah, just kind of like get a second read at that.
Not the old one?
I mean, I would think it would be the new one. Not so. Oh wait, Jeff actually did like the old one. It was you and I that couldn't stand it.
I didn't
Alex.
like it. I just thought it was just, passable. I thought it was a good movie sheathed in shitty execution.
Jeff tapped into the lore more than we did,
Yeah.
for sure.
You were more willing to like accept its foibles than Alex and I.
Before we move into like other stuff, though, I just on IMDb, I'm at Gone in 60 Seconds on IMDb, and I love the suggestions that it's giving me. More like this, and all these
Okay.
movies to me are great.
Lay it on.
Con Air,
Hell
Con
yes.
awesome. And if you don't think Con Air is awesome, stick it up your ass.
Fuck you.
I need to see that one again. I think that movie though, if I'm going off the memory of like what I think about it, operates in the way that this should, and probably does for a lot of people. Where it's like, is this an objectively smart movie? Probably not. But is it functioning as like pure fucking entertainment where you're just like, yes, whatever, shovel it in? Yes, also.
Because that's the thing is, I don't think that Con Air you could possibly have the same reaction to as you did to this movie. Like,
No,
if
because
you
Con
think
Air is fun.
if you think Con Air's boring, like, you have no pulse.
No, you got John Malkovich in there. Nicolas Cage's hair in that movie is fantastic.
John
So
Cusack.
these are mostly Nick Cage movie. It's suggesting, obviously.
Does it recommend Face Off?
It does.
The Rock.
I
The
fucking
Rock.
love Face Off. Face Off is unironically one of my favorite action movies.
Face
I think
Off
it's
is great.
phenomenal.
Face
Yeah.
Off was the first movie as a kid. Maybe the only movie I can remember my parents telling me I wasn't allowed to watch with them.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, how
Yeah.
can you not love Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, two insanely strange actors playing each other? It's so wild. And then you have John Woo directing, so it's like a legitimately great action movie
And
too.
they actually do a really good job
Yeah.
of playing each other. They get into each other's mannerisms really well. Armageddon, I mean, classic shit.
Michael Bay.
Referenced as one of the most scientifically inaccurate fucking movies.
I love
You want
it.
to know something strange? That movie is part of the Criterion Collection.
What?
Okay.
It's like the one movie that doesn't make sense in the Criterion Collection. It's like crazy that it's.
Huh.
I don't understand. I don't understand the rationale.
That's weird.
It is. It's very weird. I guess just for cultural impact.
I was gonna
I don't
say
know.
it is pretty like widespread. People love that fucking movie.
Yeah, but then why not like Independence Day? That was bigger, right? And just as dumb and bad.
People loved that movie as well. I think
That's
it's
what
just,
I'm saying. Like Independence Day was even bigger than Armageddon.
Oh, you mean why did the Criterion Collection take that one in?
Yeah. Why did they take Armageddon?
I don't know.
Well, you may never know without research that I refuse to do at this moment. What else we got, Jeff? What else does it recommend?
Well, it doesn't recommend that. I was just thinking, like, this also reminds me of a movie that I love that I was thinking of recommending one time, but I just thought, like, in the same vein of this, like, I thought you guys would just hate it, and then there would be nothing for us to talk about. But it's the Paul Walker Running Scared. And I think I might have mentioned this on the podcast before, but it's also kind of in the same vein as this. I really love that movie, and I really recommend it. It's interesting. I think it's kind of got that Man on Fire aesthetic with a lot of like quick cuts and layering and all that kind of stuff, but
Running Scared.
in a good way. But it's, Paul Walker's Running Scared 2006. I really recommend this movie. I was gonna have us do it on the episode the podcast, but I was like, it's no real point.
Well, see that when you have ideas like that, just send it over to me and we can like book report it, you know?
Maybe
Because that's the perfect venue to do movies like this. Honestly, I was on the verge of like just saying you guys should just do a book report of this movie. By the way, if people don't know, that's when just two of us do an episode. Sometimes they're shorter, sometimes not, but basically just two of us, same kind of format. But I was like, we need an episode for this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those movies I recommend watching. It's pretty interesting and in a schlocky kind of way, but it's really fun. But yeah, I just keep thinking of movies like this that I feel stand. And we were talking about Man on Fire or Equilibrium. That's a really good movie.
The one with Christian Bale.
Yeah, with Christian Bale.
That movie's
and
fucking strange. In a
Yeah,
good,
but
in a
like-
good way. It was quiet.
Yeah, but it's always considered to be shit. It was made around the same year. It has a shitty ass rating on Metascore.
It did
It's
get panned, yeah.
around the same rating as this movie, Gone in 60 Seconds. But yet there's something about it that's unique, that holds true, and it's fun to rewatch. And it's like, where does that get lost in this era of shitty half-ass movies?
Yeah, I don't know. Equilibrium is like that's a movie that gets referenced fairly often still. Maybe that's just because like we are the age group that we are, and we have the friends that we have. But I recently, I want to say in the last year or two, I finally saw that movie, Equilibrium, and I mean, you guys know me. I didn't think it was good, but I thought it was interesting, right? I think it was like, it had some interesting stuff, and whenever you have dystopian world states that deal with, I don't know, sort of like Orwellian themes, and like the death of freedom, and I don't know, these cool science fiction elements, then you're always going to grab me on a conceptual level, even if like the storytelling has problems. I don't know, it was an interesting movie. But also for me, like having a more like sci-fi dystopian kind of version is more interesting, just because that's more my aesthetic than like, look at these cool dudes driving cars, you know?
Yeah.
So there's some aesthetic
That's
there.
what I'm starting to say is like, what about the aesthetic of all of these other films makes them something to hold on to and referenceable and part of kind of some subculture of film? And while other movies like Gone in 60 Seconds tried to do that, and still kind of with certain people like me and Alex, but just falls so flat. Like, you as an adult watched Equilibrium and found, okay, this movie's not great, but there's something to gain from it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it. I remember it very well, and that's always like a key, right? Like I said earlier, I remember Funny Games really well. I remember like fucking Return of the King. What was it called? God, Legend of the King, Legend of the Dungeon Siege of Terrible.
I don't know.
Orcs and Slingshots, the movie.
Jesus.
No, but I remember Equilibrium very well, and that speaks well of it, even if I didn't think it was like great. Because I watched a lot of things, and my memory is very like, yeah, it is what it is essentially. Like, I watched this movie 2 days ago. I don't remember anything. I remember like nothing.
Yeah.
I remember them being like, I remember the gang member being like, "Oh, dude, you're digging through dog poop? That's gross, bro." And I was like, "Can I be done yet?"
That was only 25 cars in, Jesse. You gotta wait.
Yeah. How many were there? There were like 150? 50.
Yeah, 150.
No,
150.
50. 50.
I mean, honestly, it's just
Same
as
amount of
ludicrous as
Pokemon.
50 cars in one night. Yeah.
It was same amount as Pokemon, 150.
No. It was
No.
5-0.
Now.
It was 50.
That was the best no I've ever heard in my life.
That little kid energy. No.
No. It was
It's illogical.
it didn't have little kid energy. It had like 8th grade girl who's so sure of herself and like stamps her foot energy. Like, no.
Does the clapping
Actually,
of the hands.
Yeah, but this movie has stirred up something in my bowels, and I have to go poopy. So we should wrap.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Fucking, thanks for listening. Jeff's gonna go poop.
Yeah.
Alex is gonna watch Gone in 60 Seconds again.
Yes.
And
Barry Lyndon.
I'm gonna play with my cat, and then we'll all watch Barry Lyndon together.
No, we won't.
What is the
We
next
will.
movie?
And what if? So next movie we're gonna do Russian Roulette.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Shit, I should have chose something that made you happy. Fuck.
Well,
I'm going to suffer for your fucking...
Yeah.
I mean,
ineptitudes.
let's be real here. You were gonna suffer anyway. This is a new segment, by the way, for people who've made it to the end of this ragtag episode. Russian Roulette, where I'm gonna queue up some movies. I'm gonna give these guys a choice, a disguised choice, and then they'll choose what murders them. We're gonna watch it together, and much like our Christmas with the Cranks episode, edit it down into hopefully the funny bits.
Oh, God.
Are you excited?
Cool.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
Can we just
Yay.
can we do real Russian roulette instead?
Can you do that? Yeah, there's a couple ways to think about it, right? Like, one of them is like choosing the bullet that will kill you, or just wishing for death and it not happening. You know?
Well, I got a poopy, so I'm going to wish for death. So.
Okay. Get out of here. Me and Alex will say goodbye.
Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye, Jeff.
Good night.
All right. Do I stop the recording?
Yeah, get out of here. Go. Me and Alex are going to talk about highbrow cinema now. Now that the pleb is gone. Are you still rolling?
Oh, I am.
You are. Good. Well, now that Jeff's gone, what artistic phenomenal thing are we going to watch after Enter the Void?
Oh, that's a good question.
Titan?
No.
You're not going to watch Titan?
I mean, if you want to, it's your...
I've already seen it. I
Okay.
did a review.
Okay, well then, I'll think of something for a book report. I have one in mind that I think you would like.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Gone in 60 seconds. Blurpa-derpa-derp. And we'll see you in the next one. Real Weirdos,
Good night,
never knowing
everyone.
how to end. Peace out. Peace, love, and hand grenades. And fuck you, Russian warships.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Now our podcast is done, and we have to run. We know it is sad, but we had so much fun. Don't be bereft, Jesse, Alex, and Jeff. We'll be back real soon. The Real Weirdos. We talk about movies for way too goddamn long. Bo 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 bo.